Hello again, YouTube. I'm coming today with a contest response, Ricky Russo contest with our all-time favorite team. My favorite team is the Cubs, and so I'll be going over my favorite team and showing some cards of those players, and I'm going to do the positions based on their numbers when you're scoring at home. So number one is the pitcher. And for my pitcher, I have selected Greg Maddux. I'll talk a little bit here on my criteria for selection. I was looking for guys who I would own cards of them in their playing career and would depict them in a Cubs uniform, a big component, and then also their success as a Cub. Players, I might have liked to have selected Mordecai, Three Finger Brown, or especially native Nebraskan Grover Cleveland Alexander, but I don't have cards from their playing days, and just showing like a 50 Callahan or a 60 Flair just isn't as exciting. So it left me with my main choices being Greg Maddux or Fergie Jenkins. And I did decide to go with Greg Maddux. Obviously, his best years were with the Braves, but he did win one Cy Young award while a member of the Cubs. Moving on to position number two, that is the catcher position. And this one was a pretty easy choice for me. I really felt the only choice for catcher was Hall of Famer Gabby Hartnett. Played nearly his entire career with the Cubs. Just wasn't anybody else that I felt was really close to being deserving other than him. So he's the choice there. And moving on to number three is the first baseman. I selected Ernie Banks. Could have possibly selected Banks as either a first baseman or a shortstop. In the end, I decided to go with him as my first baseman just because he did play a little bit more games at first base than he did at shortstop during his career. So decided that was the appropriate place to put him. Unfortunately, with him as the selection, there were some other deserving candidates that I might have liked to have used here, but when you get down to it, it's Mr. Cub definitely has to be in this selections. Moving on to number four, that is second base, and second base was another tough choice. I decided to go with Billy Herman as my selection. Certainly gave some consideration to two other Hall of Famers in Ryan Sandberg and Johnny Evers. Evers, though, I don't have a real good card that I could show of him. And Sandberg, well, I just really wanted to show a couple of these vintage Billy Hermans instead. Moving on, number five would be the third baseman. And third base, I'm going with longer career by selecting Ron Santo. Certainly had an exceptional career, and I'll say, one of the most aggravating things that I ever saw was towards the end of his life as he was suffering from diabetes. His health was failing, and the Veterans Committee was voting on him for induction into Hall of Fame, knowing that he wasn't going to live much longer and wouldn't elect him into the Hall of Fame, and then waited until after he died to elect him. I still think that is just absolutely unconscionable. Anybody that voted for him after he passed but wouldn't vote for him when he was alive, you people just suck, and I hate you. So possibly, in the future, Chris Bryant's a guy that might be able to take this spot, but frankly, over career longevity, I think Ron Santo's the guy that has earned his inclusion in this spot. Number six, that is the shortstop position. The shortstop position really came down to whether I was going to put Banks here or in first base, And once they decided that Banks was going to be at first base, it left the spot open for Joe Tinker. Really, I think that's appropriate because the Tinker to Evers to Chance double play combination needed to be represented in this all-time team. Number 7 is the left field, and I went with Billy Williams as the left fielder. Tremendous hitter during his day, hit for average and for power as well, and excellent as a defensive player as well. Just all around one of the great players. Would have liked to have considered Monte Irving on this team, but really only had the one season with the Cubs. But I do want to just give a little tip of the cap to him here. And here we have center field, and okay, this is my straight up homer pick. I'm picking native Nebraskan Richie Ashburn as my center fielder. He only played 2 seasons with the Cubs, and then they were at the end of his career when his skills had diminished and he was no longer near as great of a hitter or a fielder as he had been earlier on in his career. But I wanted to be able to put a native Nebraskan in my team, and so I'm doing it with him, and I'm probably bypassing a much more worthy candidate in Hack Wilson to do it. But hey, it's my team. I can do it however the hell I want. And here we are at the end, number 9. And 9 is right field. This choice actually ended up surprising me a little. I went with Sammy Sosa. I really didn't expect that I would have him on my team when I originally started planning to make this video. Right field, we had a lot of worthy candidates with Kiki Kyler and Andre Dawson and also Chuck Klein, all Hall of Famers. But in the end, as I was kind of sorting through it, started looking at it, and Sammy Sosa hit more home runs than any Chicago Cub, and I just decided, well, he needed and deserved to be represented in this list, and so he is my selection at right field. Okay, so that's my team then, all 9 positions. I want to take just a quick moment to thank Ricky Russo for sponsoring this contest. Once again, thanks everybody for watching. I'm going to switch over to the camera now, and you can watch my dice rolls. Okay, now I'm going to record my dice rolls for the contest here. So we're going to be rolling dice 6 times. And 1, it's a 1. We're on our way to a great score. 2 is a 4, so we're 5. And our third roll is a 5, so we're up to 10. Halfway home. Hey, I did get to break double digits. Another 1. Yes. So there's 4 rolls. It's 11. And 3, so that gives me 14. 5 rolls, so the final roll, just to see how badly I lose, is a 6. There it is. So I get to what? 20? 20. Alright, well, I'm not going to win, but hey, I do have the best video. Alright, talk to everybody later. Bye.